coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts. Hey man, shout out to everybody out there on Team Banky Pound, man. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. Big love to everybody out there who support this movement, man. Big love to everybody out there who support me and what I just went through and what I'm continuing to go through. I'm trying to get stronger every day. I'm gonna try to get better every day. I know better, so I'm gonna do better, man. But I appreciate all the love. Everybody who sent love through K Rock GoFundMe, man. It was appreciated. It was appreciated, and it will always be appreciated. I appreciate y'all, man. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's get back into the swing of this thing, man. Listen, 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 listen. One of the biggest lessons you gotta learn when you young and you first come in the penitentiary, man. Coming from off of that street, you know, we have our own ideologies, our own philosophies, and the way we look at things. But one lesson you better learn when you first go in there, and that is don't put your hand on people's. You know, and what I mean by that is, you know, a lot of dudes come in the penitentiary with this, you know, thing in their head about, homosexuals or gay dudes or whatever, and they got a stigma against that. So when you get in the penitentiary, you're gonna find out there's a lot of that going on in there. And some of these boys are aggressive, some of these boys are flirtatious, some of these boys gonna say some things to you that you're not accustomed to them saying to you, and they be testing you, they be trying you. But what you have to understand is some of these boys is gonna have a man. Some of these boys is gonna have some fans. Some of these boys is gonna have some people that's trying to get with them that they not trying to get with. And those people will be the ones that come to their defense. Those will be the ones that you go to battle with, be it they trying to impress them or be it that they already are with them. You understand? And I seen that a lot when I first came in. But I thank God that for me, I was always kind of like a thinking dude. I could feel a situation out before I jump right into it or something like that. But at the same time, I'm a go to. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of them type of dudes. If you offend me, then I'm gonna pop off first. You know what I'm saying? Cause my philosophy always is if I hit first, I'm probably gonna hit last. You understand? But like I said, sometimes you have a foresight that's beyond what you could even see. It's instinctual that you know that this is dangerous, or you know what I'm saying. You have that type of feeling. I was always thank God blessed with that. Maybe it was God, you know what I'm saying, always looking out for me. You know, God and the squad always been on my team. You understand, even when I didn't even know it or didn't even acknowledge it. But I seen a lot of dudes, man, especially young dudes, man, get caught up in the trick bag by responding to them boys in a negative way or a physical way. And you gonna learn that you don't put your hand on people's, man, because if you hit one of them boys and think that that's who you gonna be dealing with, you may, because they got some of them boys that's gonna pick that Bethlehem up and come straight at your neck. You understand me? But then you have some, they gonna run straight to their man just like a little kid when you young and you get the rumbling with a little dude, he go get his big brother or he go get his family. That's the same thing that's gonna happen in that penitentiary when you dealing with them boys. And one of the first situations I seen was when I was in the wall, and they was running around and they're crazy and they aggressive and they dressing like yeah, they wearing stuff that they ain't got no business wearing in the penitentiary. So when you first see that in your mind coming off the street, that's gonna blow you. You know what I'm saying? Because it blowed me. I walk out in the block or something, and I see a grown man, which is a boy, walking around in the G-string and tied off shirts. And on in their block, like wide open, police not saying nothing to him. The other people is looking at him like it's normal. It's just crazy to me. And I'm like, man, what the, you know what I'm saying? And it'll blow you. But you have to know how to keep your composure, mind your business, and don't worry about what nobody else is doing. Because when you start worrying about what somebody else is doing, it's gonna make you forget what you have to do, and that is survive. So they used to have these boys, and they used to be standing on that till when we came in from rec, man, and they just be sitting in there leaning on the rails and just watching all the dudes walk in, coming from gym and rec and stuff, not gym but rec outside, and they sweating, and dudes ain't got their shirt on. You ain't had to wear no shirt up in there. You can walk around with your shirt off. So they sitting up there oohing and ahhing and all of that stuff, man. And if you ain't got no tough skin and you ain't got no, you know what I'm saying, well, you ain't with that, and for you to think that they talking to you, you gonna feel some type of way, and you gonna be one that's, man, who the, you gonna be like that. But you have to just be like, and mind your business. You know what I'm saying? Even though it's bothering you and you want to say something, you want to address it, but addressing everything in the penitentiary will get you a whole lot of wreck, will get you in a whole lot of trouble, will get you in a whole lot of situations that some of them you might can't get out of. And that's just a real spill. I don't care how bad you is or who you is. It's certain things, and it's a certain etiquette in prison, man, that you gotta learn. So I can remember, man, these boys, they kept on saying something to the dude, man. Dude was young. He probably was a little bit older than me. He probably was like about 25, 26, but he was new. He fresh. He new in the penitentiary. And you know what I'm saying? He was kind of cut up or whatever. And man, they was whistling and hollering and pointing directly at him and saying something to him, man. And he was like, man, who the you talking to? B and all this, and they were like, what? Huh? And all that old, sassy talking and everything. But that dude went straight up on the top tier. Not the top tier, the first tier, because that's the tier they was on. He goes straight up on the first tier, which he slept on the third tier. He goes straight up on the first tier and walks straight down to him and say, man, who you talking to? And the boy turned around and said, hey, man, you better get out of my face. You better, man, he smacked fire from him. Bow, I'm talking about hard on. Blah, smacked him. He, oh, you mother. He said, I'll kill you with me, you. And then, and his little homeboys like, come on, hey, man, leave him alone, man. Come on, leave him alone. But he mad. He walking in until like, you don't know who I am, man. You don't know I don't play that. I don't play that. So his little homeboys came and pulled him away because he had a couple of little homeboys in there. A couple of them was older dudes that been down a while, but he from they city. You know what I'm saying? So they trying to look out for him. They may know his people or whatever on the street. So they pull him away, right? Take him on down to his cell, say whatever they had to say to him or whatever, right? But the boy go to his man and tell his man, dude, and put his hands on me, woo woo woo, right? I don't know what he said to the boy, whatever. He checked the boy, whatever, come out the cell, and you can see, you can see his intention in his walk, like he mean business. So he come down there, go to old boy's cell, but old boy got a couple of his old heads down there talking to him about the situation. So he coming down there, so one of the old heads meet him to let him know, like, oh, hold on, Charlotte, what's up? He like, nah, man, I got to have him, man. He don't put his hand on my peoples, man. He was like, man, he young, he don't know your people said something. He said, I don't give up. You know what I'm saying? I got to have. You know what I'm saying? I got to have. He said, no, bro, that's the little homie. You can't do nothing to him, man. We gonna talk to him. We gonna get him straight. He be like, he ain't no getting straight, man. He ain't no getting straight. He put his hand on my people, man. No, he ain't no getting it straight. You know what I'm saying? He don't know where he at. He don't know where he like, man. He knew he just came in, but that's my little homie, man. Okay, yeah, we gonna learn. He gonna learn. So Young and Herman, he come out and say, like, man, what you gonna do? What you ain't gonna do nothing to me? And they like, hold on, Young. He's like, no, man, ain't nobody gonna do nothing to me. He full of all of that street, and he full of that that testosterone, like, man, hey, man, he ain't had no business saying nothing to me, man. He called him the F word, he a F-A-G. I don't play that. I don't, and Young and old time telling him, I don't care what you play. You don't put your hand on my people, man. So his homeboy holding him back. The other one, his homeboy is trying to tell him, calm down, Young, and you in the wrong. He like, I'm in the wrong. The man that said that to me, man. I don't play that stuff, man. I don't play that, man. I don't know what y'all into here. I ain't into that gay stuff. Why? He like telling him, you in the penitentiary, bro. You ain't got to be into it. You in the penitentiary, but you got to respect it. And people is not going to really understand that until you get in there. You going to have to respect whatever them people is doing, whatever anybody is doing. You going to have to respect. The respect is number one in the penitentiary. Respect will keep you alive, and respect will unalive you. You know what I'm saying? Respect will keep you alive. Disrespect will unalive you. You know what I'm saying? And he don't know that. And in a lot of ways on the street, you will say, yeah, he right, because you disrespecting me, you coming at me, you know what I'm saying, about my manhood, you challenging my manhood. I'm letting you know I'm not like that, so I'm gonna express that to you in a physical way. And he smacked fire from him. But what he don't understand is in the penitentiary, that's a declaration of war. You know what I'm saying? And it may not be a declaration of war for who you put your hands on. It's a declaration of war for who you put your hands on, who they belong to. And he belonged to him. He understand me? And he bought that work. You know what I'm saying? And it won't no doubt in my mind, he scrapped. He ain't reaching for nothing. He ain't doing nothing. He talking. But in my mind, I know he's scrapped. You know what I'm saying? I know he is because he an old head and he mess with them boys. All them old heads mess with them boys. Them jokers is gonna have that Bethlehem on them. You can lay flat and believe that. You can talk till your mouth catch on fire. I don't care. I done seen them jokers. They skinny, they small, they little. Some of them ain't even no taller than 5'5", and they into that. They got that Bethlehem on them, dog, because they gotta have it because of the lifestyle that they in. Anybody might disrespect them at any day. Anybody might call them outside their name. They can't be carried like that because if they do, they can't continue to do what they do. The only ones that ain't gonna really be scrapped like that and be about that action is they pancaking, they flip flopping, they doing something to each other up in there. You know what I'm saying? So he might play that mild role, but then you can't even count on that 100% that they not gonna do nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's just been my experience that I learned since doing time 33 years. Rarely ever, if you got one of them dudes that's into that he ain't toting that Bethlehem. He ain't got some type of protection on him because of the lifestyle that he living. It's just that simple. But when you first coming in the penitentiary and you off the street, you looking at them like, man, they all gay, man. I ain't going for that. I ain't going for nothing. Okay, that's a good that's a good philosophy to have, but at the same time you have to understand where you at, man. Them people will come at you in a way that you not used to being came at. Ain't nobody really from the street used to fight nobody up, you know what I'm saying, with no knife. Who where you was living at, where you come from, you know what I'm saying. I know people get stabbed on the street, of course they do, but way 99 point some percent of people, more people on the street get shot than they do get attacked with a knife. You understand me? So in the penitentiary, those dynamics are reversed drastically. You know what I'm saying? It's 99.9 point some people in the penitentiary is gonna get attacked with that knife opposed to getting shot. Because if you get shot, it's gonna come from the gun tower or the police. And that's gonna be very rare. But it happens. You know what I'm saying? I guess more often if you're in the feds, but in the state, you ain't getting shot like that. You know what I'm saying? Now maybe so. Maybe the percentages drop, maybe 85, 80 some percent, because now they got all these little Super Max D, Wallace Ridge Red Onions, and Sussex ones and twos, and King Mountain and River North. Yeah, they busting the gun on you. You know what I'm saying? But they not really live rounds neither. But they busting that gun on you, and it's still gonna do damage to you. But other than that, if you get attacked in the penitentiary, more than likely, or 100% if you get attacked by a convict or inmate, it's gonna be with that knife or with his hands or with a weapon, but it ain't gonna be no gun. You see what I'm saying? So the dynamics is different, man, and dudes is not realizing that, they not understanding that, and man, that caused a whole big corruption, chaos, confusion, because dude wanted to get at him, and then dude wanted to get at him even more because he was jaw jacking and running his mouth like he ain't do nothing wrong, and in his mind he felt like he didn't do nothing wrong, and even though his old heads was trying to make him understand, he won't trying to hurt it. He won't trying to hurt it. You know what I'm saying? And they really looking out for him on the strength because they could have just got out of the way. And I believe if they would have just got out of the way, I believe he'd have got hurt. I believe he'd have got hurt because in his mind he thinking he gonna go fight a dude, some fisted cuff or whatever. I'm gonna go rumble him. Nah, man, that old head ain't fighting you, man. He gonna get the picking and poking. That's what's gonna happen, and he didn't know that. And they trying to tell him that. So dude talk him down. He leaving, but he leaving because it's getting ready to be count, and then people getting ready to come lock these doors. But he leaving still on some. Oh, I got to have you. I got to have you, little smart mouth young. I got to have you. And youngin is telling him, man, I'll beat you to death in here, man. I'll beat the brakes off you out. And dudes is telling, man, shut up, man, calm down. We got them, man. And he ain't listening. You know what I'm saying? So go in through the count, they do all what they got to do or whatnot or whatnot. When them doors pop back open, you know what I'm saying? Now they open it tier by tier. You know what I'm saying? At this time, they open it tier by tier in this wall, but when we go out for rec, then all them tiers is going out, you know what I'm saying? But they opening tier by tier. So now when they opening tier by tier like this, dude ain't even on the same tier, but he could get out because he got pulled. Some of them dudes that's been in that penitentiary for a long time, they got pulled. You know what I'm saying? So all of a sudden, when that tier come out and his homeboys out there trying to talk to him, then they don't bust these doors. Then next thing you know, he out. But it ain't even his tier. He out. Then he got a couple of his homeboys and they over there congregating. And then you got this youngin' over here in the corner acting like he with his chest out and got his shirt off and like he ready to rumble, and he got a couple of his old heads, the same ones that was trying to protect him, letting them know, youngin', this ain't that type of party. You know what I'm saying? You got a knife, you willing to kill? Yeah, I'm ready to kill. I don't need no knife, but I'm a kill for mine. I'm like that with mine. I don't know. Y'all got me messed up. I know I'm just getting in the penitentiary, but ain't nothing PUSSY about me. I'ma stand on mine. So all of that sound good. Do you got a knife? Cause this dude gonna stab holes in you, champ. He not gonna do no fighting, and they trying to make him understand that. And then the next thing you know, they start walking down there. So then the dudes, his little dudes, he done got a couple more people that's from his hometown. They trying to tell him, look, man, it ain't going down like that, man. You can't do nothing to youngin' about that, man. Youngin', sure, he out of pocket. He put his hand on your people, but your people was out of pocket. Your people said something to him. You know what I'm saying? So dude telling him, yeah, I already know that. I done checked them. You know what I'm saying? That's my job to put my hands on him. It ain't his job. You know what I'm saying? So they telling him like, well, he ain't know that. He just got here. Well, he should have known. You know what I'm saying? My people already got checked. They done already got what they gonna get from me. But don't nobody else put their hand on my people, man. You know that. You've been in the penitentiary long enough. So somebody should have told him. I don't care if he just got here or not. And then he gonna have the audacity to be running his mouth, telling me he'll beat me. He ain't gonna do nothing to me. He gonna die up in this joint. So he tell me, bro, it ain't even that serious for him to die over this. He don't know. We talking to him. We trying to look at him now. Look at him. He over there acting like he with it. Then his homeboy chiming in like, yeah, man, he don't know he in the penitentiary. But he gonna learn, man. He can't come in here with that. So it's a whole big thing over one little thing. This is how the penitentiary goes, man. One little thing. He didn't like what was being said to him. He addressed it as a man and pulled up on him and put hands on him and let him know this ain't, yeah, don't talk to me like that. The only problem with that is that's a boy and he got a man. He's somebody people's. And if you got to deal with somebody people's, you got to deal with their people's. You got to go to him. Had he went to the dude and said something, dude would have came out there, put hands on the boy probably in front of him, made him apologize, and then apologize to him and send the boy on in the room and they dealt with him later. That's how it goes down. You know what I'm saying? But when you first coming in the penitentiary, you don't know that. How we supposed to know that? You know what I'm saying? We don't know that. So he did what he normally would do. He feel like I'm in the penitentiary, somebody come at me wrong, whether it's on some gay stuff, whether it's on some regular stuff, I'm gonna stand up for mine. He all the way right in doing that. He just wrong in this situation. Penitentiary rule wise, penitentiary rules he wrong. Manhood rules he right, he correct. And that's what his homeboys was trying to explain to dude, but he kept on standing on his, I ain't trying to hurt, I ain't trying to you know what I'm saying? And I think he would have more or less eventually listened had dude not kept running his mouth. And Younger kept running his mouth like he ain't scared, but he don't even know what to be scared of. He thinking that he gonna fight until these dudes start telling him, man, that man ain't gonna fight you, man. He ain't gonna fight you. He not gonna do none of that. He gonna be trying to stab you. Straight up. Now you want a knife, you want to go in the room with him, you want to go in there and do that where you know you may not come out or he may not come out, but either way you know it's gonna be some bloodshed. Is that what you really want? Is you really ready for that? And put some stuff on his mind, man. But cooler heads came to, prevail, man, and they chopped it all out. They chopped it all out. And the situation ended up getting, dissolved. It ended up dissolving, but I don't, what I'm saying? Old head won't really satisfied with that. I could tell by the way he always was looking from that point on. You know what I'm saying? And I always expected something to pop off. But like I said, fortunately, they won't on the same tip. So they not coming out like that at the same time. He got out on his own because he got out there for that action. when on that day that night he got off for that action, but he ain't on that same tip. So, but I could see him, and once I saw things like that happen around me, I told y'all when I first got in the penitentiary, I'm 100% a observer. I'm looking at everything, I'm paying attention to everything, and I ain't saying nothing. I'm paying attention to everything, but I'm saying nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm taking notes. I'm seeing. I'm listening. You can call it ear hustling, eye hustling, whatever. I was doing all of that because I ain't know nothing neither. You know what I'm saying? And truth be told, I told you I almost got in almost the exact same scenario. But like I say, seeing something, I told you the boy walked by my cell, kept stopping by there saying something. I told him get the F on. You know what I'm saying? Woo woo woo. And then his people come up and pull up on me saying, man, don't be saying nothing to my people. And then I'm ready like, man, look, you tell your people to don't stop in front of this door. I ain't with none of that. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know if it was something he saw in me or in my eyes or in my demeanor or whatever. And I won't like super like going crazy on him like, nigga, I'm not God. No, I was just letting him know I ain't going for none of that. I'm letting you out straight up. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, yeah, well, I ain't going for it neither, woo woo woo, but that was the end of that. But at the same time, I still kept my eyes on him because I don't know what he gonna do. And I felt weird about that, kind of strange about that. You pulling up on me about another dude. You know what I'm saying? But like I say, later then when I see that situation unfold, it all made sense to me and I understand. I was just picking up little bits and pieces about how this penitentiary life really goes, man, and what the rules really is. Cause ain't nobody gonna sit down with you and just how. They ain't gonna do that, man. Everybody got their own thing going on. Everybody went through their own bumps and bruises. And the truth be told, dudes don't care that much about it. He just got lucky for real. If you ask me, he got lucky. He got lucky that some dudes was from his hometown, and I guess some dudes knew his people, and them dudes had been in the penitentiary a long time, and they done pulled him up under his wing. Oh man, you from Portsmouth? Okay, yeah, we from Portsmouth, and then pulled him up under his wing. But other than that, if he would have just did that and ain't really had no old timers behind him, he'd have been in a whole situation that he probably wouldn't have came up out of. Cause them dudes ain't got no problem in that wall, and when I first get there, having zero problem. This before the Wallace Ridge, the Red Onions, and all these places where they gonna say you, man, you in the wall, you at the last stop. Either there or Mecklenburg, you at the last stop. You know what I'm saying? And knife play was that's automatic. But dudes was losing their life up in that wall and getting and dudes that did it getting 2 and 3 and 4 years. You know what I'm saying? Some dudes getting away with it. So it won't no, it was no deterrent for people not to use that Bethlehem. It was no real penalties. You setting up in the penitentiary, setting up on 40 years, you know what I'm saying? And you worried about catching 2 or 3 more years. Man, that ain't gonna stop nobody. And you up in there with life sentence and you worried about catching 2 or 3 more years, that ain't gonna stop nobody. That's why everybody had knives in there. And as I told y'all when I was in the war, it won't no shakedowns. There ain't no shakedowns the whole time I was in there. So ain't nobody even got to worry about hiding at night because the police ain't coming up in there looking for it. You understand? So the danger on this institution was, ever present, man. It was there all the time. It's always danger on there because everybody's strapped. You know what I'm saying? So when you first coming in there, you green and you don't know what's going on. That's a very, very crucial time, man, in your bit because you could get caught up just like that before you even get in the swing of knowing how the penitentiary go and getting into your bit and getting into a comfort zone or a routine where you know this is how I'm gonna do my time. You could get caught up before you even get to that point. Before you even get to that point. And a lot of times all of that comes down to where they send you for receiving. I feel like for real, it's a blessing and a curse if they send you to a hard penitentiary off the top for your receiving, like the wall, you know what I'm saying, or Powhatan or something like that when you first come in. I feel like it's you know what I'm saying, it's benefits and it's downfalls to that because the benefit is you gonna really get a crash course in what you was ahead for you. But the downfall is you can get caught up in the process by you know what I'm saying, just by moving too fast or not knowing when to move or not knowing what to do because that's a crucial time for you right there. But if you could get through that part right there and you get a gist of what's how dangerous this zone really is or how it can really be, because you may leave the wall, like I say, or Powhatan or something, go straight to one of these brand new kiddie camps where it ain't really a whole lot going on, because almost everybody on there is new. Almost everybody on there is green, and you just got a sprinkle here and there of old timers. Because when they first started these new institutions up, that's what they do. They flood them with all the dudes that's coming in the system. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because the officers is new as well, so they trying to get them in there. But then they sprinkle in some old timers because they really be learning from the old timers how the penitentiary supposed to be ran. But when you cross one of them dudes that been in that penitentiary 10, 15, 20, 30 years, and you just coming in, man, these dudes is operating on a whole nother level, man. They got a whole certain ways that they do things, and they not going for nothing. Anything outside of what they already know, outside of their lane, they gonna be disturbed, and it ain't no telling what they might do. Straight like that. So these type of things you need to know, man. So for people, the young dudes, man, hopefully you'll never be going to penitentiary. But if you ever find yourself in this unfortunate situation where you go into penitentiary, man, just understand there's nothing, absolutely nothing like what you know. It's nothing like the streets. It's nothing how you handle things in this outside world is the way you're going to be able to handle them in that penitentiary. They just don't mix, man. It's like water and oil, man. It ain't going to go together. You have to rethink, reshape, and regroup when you're in that penitentiary. You understand? And you have to do the same thing if you're in that penitentiary, you come out here, because that's what I had to do. Rethink, unlearn all of my ways in the penitentiary in order to survive out here. Because the way that I handle something in the penitentiary, if I try to handle it this way out here, it will put me right back in the penitentiary. So it's just a shift of mindset that you got to go through, man. But one thing you need to know in the penitentiary, and I don't care how bad you think he is, don't put your hand on no people's, man. You better talk to the people before you think about putting your hands on these people's. And that's just real talk, man, whether you can accept it or reject it, man. But anyway, man, more stories to come, man. Membership, man. I love y'all. I'm going to get over there and I'm going to drop it on y'all raw, dog, and uncut. If you ain't got the membership, shame on you, the blame on you. If you do got the membership, the love on you, the love from me. You heard me? So, big love, man. Y'all be safe, be smart, make good decisions. Leave me some comments, man. Talk to me, like the video, man. Come on, get me back in the algorithm. Don't do your boy like that, man. I wouldn't do it to you. You heard me? Yay. Y'all be safe, be smart, man. Make good decisions, man. And by all means, duck them hooks and go get your health check, man. Your health is your wealth.
The banky special.
Yeah.
Pure deliciousness.
Pure deliciousness, man.
My name is Banky, man. Everybody calls me Banky. That's the name that I got from my grandmother when I was young. I'm coming out here after 30 years. Yeah, I ain't got nothing, but I'm gonna have something because I'm rich in personality, you know, and I'm rich in love. My family love me, and that's really all that counts.